Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with another Is It a Dupe video for you. So I recently picked up a clone of Zoologist Bee from a house called Andromeda's Moon. So yeah, I've got the original, the real Zoologist Bee here, and then we've got the clone. I'm really excited to do this one because I did not think that it was possible to clone this fragrance. It is so complex and so unique smelling. It's got a broom note in it. I've had Bee for at least 3 years now or so. And Bee has a broom note in it that is very distinctive. It's, I pick it up in the fragrance immediately. And that is the one note that I was like, there's no way that anybody is gonna be able to clone this fragrance. Well, when I pulled this out of my Andromeda's Moon order and smelled it, I was floored. It's very similar. I don't know how similar, but you really can't tell until, you know, because it's very easy for your brain to think that something smells like something, and then you spray them next to each other and they do smell similar, but they're definitely not, you know, clones. But this one I really do think is gonna be a good clone. So anyways, let's get going. This is the original Zoologist Bee, and I'm gonna go ahead and spray this on my left wrist. I'm gonna give it a good coating, a good spray. I do keep it in its box just because, number one, this is my most favorite fragrance on the planet. It's just a 10 out of 10. Like, I've never smelled anything else like this, and I just think it is absolutely incredible. It's a fragrance that's just on another level. Okay, and then I'm gonna spray the Andromeda's Moon on my other wrist, and a lot more comes out with this one, so I'm just gonna give it a couple sprays. Okay, there are definitely some differences in the initial spray, which is usually where things are the most different. So Bee is just perfection. It is smooth and refined smelling and perfection. I mean, it's a masterpiece. Bee is an absolute masterpiece. And Andromeda's Moon Bee is really good. Don't get me wrong, it's very good, but it is certainly not as refined smelling. It's not as complex smelling. In Bee, in the top, it has ginger syrup and orange, and it's got a royal jelly accord. And that's another note that I was like, nobody is ever gonna be able to duplicate that, a royal jelly accord. And it's definitely not. There's not enough ginger in the Andromeda's Moon. Don't get me wrong, it's really nice, but there's just not enough ginger, and it's not mimicking that royal jelly accord either. So as it starts to dry down, Bee has heliotrope in the middle, and broom, and orange flower, and mimosa, which I mostly get the broom in the middle. I mostly get the broom. I get a touch of the heliotrope as well. There's a little bit, yeah, you definitely get a little bit of the heliotrope, but it's mostly about the broom. And I'm not getting that broom note in the Andromeda's Moon. Not at all. You're just not getting it. It's beautiful, but, and out of the bottle, it smells much closer to Bee than it does on skin. So I thought for sure this was gonna end up being a lot closer, and it's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad clone, but it's not a clone. I would say it's a smell-alike. It smells like Bee when you spray it in the air. Yeah, when you spray it in the air or smell it out of the bottle, it's closer than when you actually get it on skin. It's similar, do not get me wrong. And as it's drying down, more of the honey is coming out of the Andromeda's Moon. But this almost goes, it doesn't have the middle notes it doesn't have the top or the middle notes that Bee does. This one almost goes straight to the vanilla and the tonka bean in the base. And that's really what it does. It does have some of the honey. Yeah, this one for me just goes straight to the vanilla and the tonka bean. And then as it dries down, it does start to smell a little bit more like bee. Yeah, it definitely does. It does start to mimic it a little more in the dry down, but bee completely changes. So by the time this starts to resemble bee has changed into something else. And this just can't keep up with that journey, if that makes any sense. It's nice. It's a very, very nice cologne. It's a really nice perfume in its own right, but it's definitely not a dupe. I would not say it's a dupe. Now, I will say I've got so many of these colognes from Andromeda's Moon, and so many of them are really, really beautiful and spot on, and some of them are even better in some cases and perform better. And I knew this was gonna be a hard one. I knew it would be a hard one. It's gonna be hard for anybody to try to clone this fragrance, because for me this is a masterpiece and it's almost not clonable. I don't think anybody is gonna be able to, unless somebody was able to get their hands on the same materials that Zoologist uses and mimic it, you know, remake it, then maybe, but I think it's gonna be really, really hard for any clone house to make a true clone of bee. It's beautiful. It's a great perfume. It is a version of bee, but it's not bee. It's a version of bee, but it's not bee. I don't think, if you love this fragrance the way that I do, I don't think you would be satisfied with this. If you don't love bee, if bee is too much for you, if it's just not your cup of tea, I think that you might actually like this better, because it's a much more wearable version of bee for people that don't like bee. Much more wearable. It's really nice. I'm not gonna lie. Very nice perfume in its own right. It just isn't, it isn't bee. Yeah, it's just not bee. Beautiful though. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna say for this one, it is not a dupe. It is definitely a smell-alike. It is a version of bee, but it is not a dupe. So I'm sad. I was hoping it would be closer. I was hoping it would be more of a dupe, because I would love to find something to recommend to people. I think you're better off buying Kim Kardashian Pure Honey. If you're wanting like a really beautiful, rich, affordable honey perfume, I think that that's a better option. But this is really, really gorgeous in its own right. But anyways, you guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.